Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So we want a piece of ice for world protection, and they won't give it. We've never asked for anything else, and we could have kept that piece of land, and we didn't. So they have a choice. You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative, or you can say no, and we will remember.
When it comes to the Arctic, I think President Trump is right. Other leaders in NATO are right. We need to defend the Arctic. We know that these sea lanes are opening up. We know that China and Russia are increasingly active in the Arctic. There are 8 countries bordering on the Arctic. 7 are a member of NATO. That's Finland and Sweden and Norway and Denmark, Iceland, Canada and the US. And there's only 1 country bordering on the Arctic outside NATO, and that's Russia. And I would argue there is a 9th country, which is China, which is increasingly active in the Arctic region. So President Trump and other leaders are right. We have to do more there. We have to protect the Arctic against Russian and Chinese influence. And that's exactly what NATO ambassadors decided to do in September. We are working on that, making sure that collectively we will defend the Arctic region.
Well, we have a concept of a deal. I think it's going to be a very good deal for the United States, also for them. And we're going to work together on something having to do with the Arctic as a whole, but also Greenland. And it has to do with the security, great security, strong security, and other things.
The market, 600 points, getting back a lot of some of the nervousness we had in the last couple of days. The tariffs are off. Nothing happens on February 1st.
No, we took that off because it looks like we have pretty much a concept of a deal.
A deal of ownership, a deal...
Well, it's a little bit complex, but we'll explain it down the line. But the Secretary General of NATO and I and some other people were talking, and it's the kind of a deal that I wanted to be able to make.
Where does Denmark... Did they weigh in on what they want, what they would agree to?
Well, I assume they did because he very much represents... He's a strong leader. Mark, Rutte. And he... I assume he's been speaking to them. He's been speaking to all of them.
Are mineral rights involved? Is ownership involved? Did the Golden Dome sway people?
I don't want to say yet, but...
The Golden Dome was very compelling today when you talked about that.
Yeah, the Golden Dome, and they're going to be involved in the Golden Dome. And they're going to be involved in mineral rights, and so are we.
It's not specific enough to know at this point how long this lasts, whether it's... Forever.
It'll be forever.
For Greenland at this point.
Yeah. Forever.
That's staggering.
That's better than a 99-year.
This is what, 2 hours after.
It's better than the Obama deal with the famous Iran nuclear deal with a 9-year deal. No, this is forever. This is a long term.
Big deal. Folks, a big deal. President Donald Trump, preceded by, in our sound bites, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, and earlier today at the World Economic Forum, Donald Trump spoke about Greenland. He spoke about many other things. His speech, when I think of, it was well over an hour. I think it could have been close to an hour and 40-some-odd minutes. I'll have to check. It was a long speech, and it was incredible, actually. So, to all of the nervous Nellies, and there have been some, I have heard this morning, I got a text earlier in the morning about how Donald Trump was embarrassing the United States by mocking the Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney. Of course, the person that sent it to me is Canadian. And by embarrassing the French President, Emmanuel Macron. Now, he did embarrass Macron. I mean, I don't know how Macron cannot be embarrassed. Trump went through a conversation that he had. We'll play it. If you didn't hear it, it's hysterical. But here's the big thing. All the detractors. Who are we? Thank you, Carlos. Welcome, my friends, to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, fastest hour in American media. Carlos reminds me of that every day. I just can't wait to get going when I hear these things. So welcome. Yes, thank you, Carlos. Folks, all the nervous Nellies were having a cow over Donald Trump and this Greenland thing. As you may have heard in the bite, he played the stock market already up 600 points after he announced the framework. And I said to a friend of mine, one of my Canadian friends that was complaining, look, you all, no matter how many times this plays out, you never see it. Trump is negotiating. He starts with the most outlandish thing you can think of. In this case, we're going to take, why doesn't he just talk nice? Because talking nice doesn't do anything with these people. And it's like Princess Diana mentioned a few weeks ago what Rush used to say about the laser and the cat, those little laser games you play with the cat where they just jump around and follow the laser. Trump does that all the time. He puts a laser out there and the entire Western media follows the laser. And they never stop to think of who's the hand behind the laser. Who is doing this? Donald Trump has a unique negotiating style. We've seen it play out. This is the second term. And those covering him and the detractors on the left seem not to ever stop to think that they've seen this before. And that it usually, in a negotiation, ends up with some kind of deal being made. And there is one now. We don't know the complete, we don't know all of the details of that deal. Marco Rubio, Vance are going to be tasked, and other members of the administration, with turning this framework into a deal. But there has been a deal made. In the lead up to this, and Trump explained this before the world, what our intentions were. And I want to play some of that. Let's go with number one and listen to this to their faces. He was speaking with many of the elite members of Europe's government, the European Union's government, NATO, as well as to our Western allies, as well as to us, the American people, during the course of this long speech. And this is one of the things that Donald Trump said when he began to talk about what was really going on and at stake with Greenland.
We saw this in World War II, when Denmark fell to Germany after just 6 hours of fighting and was totally unable to defend either itself or Greenland. So the United States was then compelled, we did it, we felt an obligation to do it, to send our own forces to hold the Greenland territory. And hold it we did, at great cost and expense. They didn't have a chance of getting on it, and they tried. Denmark knows that. We literally set up bases on Greenland for Denmark. We fought for Denmark. We weren't fighting for anyone else. We were fighting to save it for Denmark. Big, beautiful piece of ice. It's hard to call it land. It's a big piece of ice. But we saved Greenland and successfully prevented our enemies from gaining a foothold in our hemisphere. So we did it for ourselves also. And then after the war, which we won it big. Without us, right now you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese, perhaps. After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark. How stupid were we to do that? But we did it. But we gave it back. But how ungrateful are they now?
Wow. Have you ever heard it explained exactly like that? Now, he went on to talk about what Denmark said they would do as the security matters concerning the growth and the aggression of both China and Russia have become more pronounced in our hemisphere. Cut 2. This is what Donald Trump continued with.
In 2019, Denmark said that they would spend over $200 million to strengthen Greenland's defenses. But as you know, they spent less than 1% of that amount. 1%. There's no sign of Denmark there. And I say that with great respect for Denmark, whose people I love, whose leaders are very good. It's the United States alone that can protect this giant mass of land, this giant piece of ice, develop it and improve it and make it so that it's good for Europe and safe for Europe and good for us. And that's the reason I'm seeking immediate negotiations to once again discuss the acquisition of Greenland by the United States, just as we have acquired many other territories throughout our history, as many of the European nations have. They've acquired, there's nothing wrong with it. Many of them, some went in reverse, actually, if you look. Some had great vast wealth, great vast lands all over the world. They went in reverse. They're stuck back where they started. That happens too. But some grow. But this would not be a threat to NATO. This would greatly enhance the security of the entire alliance, the NATO alliance.
Talked about NATO too, cut 4. And here it is. Well, he says
of the entire alliance, the NATO alliance. The United States is treated very unfairly by NATO. I want to tell you that. And when you think about it, nobody can dispute it. We give so much and we get so little in return. And I've been a critic of NATO for many years. And yet I've done more to help NATO than any other president by far, than any other person. You wouldn't have NATO if I didn't get involved in my first term. The war with Ukraine is an example. We are thousands of miles away, separated by a giant ocean. It's a war that should have never started, and
he went on to talk about the fact that Europe is not really doing their part. And boy, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is on fire over there as well. Look, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we have more. And I'm going to play that Macron thing. I've never heard anything like it. It's hysterical.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
How does PwC take your company to the leading edge? They bring the sharpest minds in tech to your team, so you can bring the ideas that will transform your business. They're passionate about your industry, so you can walk into any room with every advantage. And they're with you every step of the way, so you can know you're headed in the right direction. PwC builds for what's next, so you can get there now. Get started at pwc.com/US/leading edge.
The James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, I don't agree with this idea of just saying everybody or implying that everybody from Somalia isn't worthy of being an American immigrant or a citizen. We have seen success stories from Somalia that are not part of the fraud stories, that are not part of everything. Now, does he have a point about the attempt from the last administration to just wholesale bring in thousands and thousands and thousands of people, not just from Somalia, but without vetting them. People that are a drag on America, people that have defrauded America. Absolutely there's a point that needs to be made. But there's also a point that needs to be made that not everybody that comes from any nation is not worthy of being an American because they're from that particular nation. So I just want to say that. But to the larger point, and what the Biden administration and Obama administration did before that, let's face facts. The reason that they've done these things, as I've said this many times, is to pad up the numbers that they get in the House with illegal immigrants and with immigrants that have never been here. Now, the Macron piece that I want to play is too long to do before the break. That was classic. Absolutely classic. But there are other things, too. Gavin Newsom, to me, should be one of the most embarrassed figures in American politics today. By the way, they asked Gavin Newsom, some reporter did, about the invasion of the city's church in Minnesota. He pretended he didn't know anything, or either he doesn't, maybe he's not pretending he didn't know anything about it, or he doesn't know anything about it, which is pretty disgraceful. Either way, yet he was over in Davos, hobnobbing with all these world leaders, demanding that the European nations get tough with Trump, get off their knee pads. And today Trump makes a deal that he was rooting against, apparently, a deal that's good for America. He ought to be called out on it. It's disgraceful what Newsom has done trying to present himself as a world leader. And he's not. We'll be back, folks. Don't go away.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Angry White Male Studies is addressing topics right out of our own headlines. New at 6, our Kelly Taylor explains what students think about the topic.
Some students thought it was a joke when they saw Angry White Male Studies in the course catalog, and others weren't surprised at all. Angry White Male Studies is already causing a stir. It's been the talk of social media.
Everyone's just reposting it and asking if it's a joke or not. It's just been on all the Snapchat stories, so it's been big news today.
The class charts the rise of the angry white male in America and Britain since the 1905s, according to the course description. Students will explore the deeper sources of white man anger and evaluate recent manifestations of it. We wanted to know why the college is offering the course and what they'll be covering, but no word back from the professor or KU yet. But some students aren't surprised by the new course.
We have a lot of different classes kind of relating to this that you wouldn't normally think would be at on college campuses.
Others couldn't really put into words what they thought about it, but they did think it could serve a purpose.
It could be a beneficial study, but at the same time, there are other studies that could get to the same root.
I think it'd be interesting, but I don't really know why we have it exactly.
My friends, those of you old enough to remember will remember Democrats tried to make, quote, the angry white man part of the election campaigns during the Clinton years. And that's when the movie Falling Down came out. He was supposedly the epitome of the angry white man. And they tried to use it to define conservatives. And here's Kansas University offering a course on the angry white men since 1905. Unbelievable. This day in music, sad moment in music. 1984, on this day, Jackie Wilson passed away. He suffered a massive heart attack while playing a Dick Clark show at the Latin Casino in New Jersey in the year of 1975, falling headfirst to the stage while singing Lonely Teardrops. And he stayed in a coma for 8 years. One of the most loved vocalists of his day. Our friend Ed Shea was playing drums behind Jackie Wilson on that date when he fell head first while singing this song.
My heart is crying, crying, lonely teardrops.
The great Jackie Wilson passed away on this day in 1984. James Golden, okay. Angry white men, like bell bottoms, everything comes back again. All right, Macron. Donald Trump has been talking about this. It gets very little coverage in the press. We are due to see massive, and I really want to see this, massive drops in our prescriptions for Big Pharma. The United States, as it turns out, has been subsidizing cheaper medicine around the world. We have been subsidizing it. And Donald Trump had enough of it. We have to lower these prices here. And he went on to say that something that cost $100, $130 here is less than $30 over in the UK and France. And he explained during his speech at Davos today how the negotiations went with French Emmanuel Macron. Cut 6, I thought this was just hysterical. And I just couldn't even believe he was just going there, just making it all public. But this is how that part of the speech sounded.
I said, I guarantee you. But I actually started with Emmanuel, who probably is in the room too. And I like him. I actually like him. Hard to believe, isn't it? And I said, Emmanuel, you're going to have to lift the price of that pill to $20, maybe $30. Think of that. That means it's a doubling of prescription drugs. Might be a tripling, might be a quadrupling. It's not easy. No, Donald, I will not do that. I said, yes, you will, 100%. He said, no. You're asking me to double. I said, Emmanuel, you've been taking advantage of the United States for 30 years with prescription drugs. You really should do it, and you will do it. I have no doubt. In fact, I am 100% sure you're going to. No, I will not do it. Because he has to, in all fairness to him, he has to double or triple. Because the world being a bigger place than the United States, it's not that you meet in the middle. You just have to go up some, and we come down a lot. They go up a little, we come down a lot. So we're at $130, they're at 10. So they may have to go to 20 or 30. No more than that. I said, Emmanuel, you're going to be doubling or tripling? No. I said, here's the story, Emmanuel. The answer is you're going to do it. You're going to do it fast. And if you don't, I'm putting a 25% tariff on everything that you sell into the United States and a 100% tariff on your wines and champagnes. And that's about 10 times more than what I'm requesting. And you're going to do it. I don't want to go public with it, but you may make me do that. No, Donald, I will do it. I will do it. It took me, on average, 3 minutes a country, saying the same thing. You will do it. They all said, no, I will not do it. You're asking me to double the cost of prescription. I said, that's right, because you've been screwing us for 30 years.
Wow. No, Donald. No, Donald. I won't do it. No, Donald. No, Donald. I won't do it. Emmanuel, you will do it. No, Donald. I won't do it. No, Donald. You want some mascara? Go, Donald. No, Donald. Have some champagne, Donald. Champagne bank. Have some champagne. No, Donald. No, Donald. I won't do it. Emmanuel, you're gonna do it. No, Donald. I'm not going to do it, Donald. No. Have some escargot, Donald. Donald, do you want some foie gras? Donald, you eat foie gras? No, Donald. No, I'm not going to do it, Donald. Emmanuel, you're going to do it. Else I'm going to throw some tariffs up your booty. Yes, Donald, I will do it. Yes, Donald, I will do it. Do you want more foie gras? Do you want some escargot? Do you want some champagne? You want some champagne, Donald? No, Donald. Yes, Donald. How embarrassing. And by the way, my friend that texted me from Canada, I was supposed to feel that Donald Trump embarrassed us by this. By going after... No, Donald. Yes, Donald. What you say, Donald? You want some champagne? He also called Europe out on just cut 7. This is just masterful. Just, here it is. Just
because
boom.
of my landslide election victory, the United States avoided the catastrophic energy collapse which befell every European nation that pursued the Green New Scam. Perhaps the greatest hoax in history. The Green New Scam. Windmills all over the place. Destroy your land. Destroy your land. Every time that goes around, you lose $1,000. You're supposed to make money with energy, not lose money. Here in Europe, we've seen the fate that the radical left tried to impose on America. They tried very hard. Germany now generates 22% less electricity than it did in 2017.
Stunning.
And it's not the current chancellor's fault. He's solving the problem. He's going to do a great job. But what they did before he got there, I guess that's why he got there. And electricity prices are 64% higher. The United Kingdom produces just 1/3 of the total energy from all sources that it did in 1999. Think of that, 1/3. And they're sitting on top of the North Sea, one of the greatest reserves anywhere in the world, but they don't use it. And that's one reason why their energy has reached catastrophically low levels with equally high prices. High prices, very low levels. Think of that, 1/3. And you're sitting on top of the North Sea, and they like to say, well, that's depleted. It's not depleted. It's got 500 years. They haven't even found the oil. The North Sea is incredible. They don't let anybody drill. Environmentally, they don't let them drill. They make it impossible for the oil companies to go. They take 92% of the revenues. So the oil companies say, we can't do it. They came to see me. Is there anything you can do? I want Europe to do great. I want UK to do great. They're sitting on one of the greatest energy sources in the world, and they don't use it. In fact, their electricity prices have soared 139%. There are windmills all over Europe. There are windmills all over the place, and they are losers. One thing I've noticed is that the more windmills a country has, the more money that country loses and the worse that country is doing. China makes almost all of the windmills, and yet I haven't been able to find any wind farms in China. Did you ever think of that? It's a good way of looking at it. They're smart. China's very smart. They make them, they sell them for a fortune. They sell them to the stupid people that buy them, but they don't use them themselves. They put up a couple of big wind farms, but they don't use them. They just put them up to show people what they could look like. They don't spin. They don't do anything. They use a thing called coal, mostly. But China goes with the coal. They go with oil and gas. They're starting to look at nuclear a little bit. And they're doing just fine.
That's just amazing. This guy we've never seen a president like this. I keep telling you. I heard from Tom Bond during the break. I'm still waiting. Tom Bond and I have been negotiating. We have to wrap up our negotiations because Tom Bond is a financial whiz. And we're going to do some stuff. He's cousin of James Bond. And we're going to do some stuff here, yes, to help bring financial information to peoples. We just got to wrap up our negotiations and get him on here. Tom Bond, I found out today, went to Kansas University, where they're now having the angry white male course. He ain't so happy about it. He's like, geez, really? All right. The best takedown, one of the best takedowns ever, besides our Donald, Our Donald took down Emmanuel Macron just beautifully. Our Donald did that. Our Donald did that superbly. Ladies and gentlemen, our Donald took it too. Emmanuel Macron. No, Donald, I won't do that. No, Donald. Yes, Donald, I better do it. Yes. Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, was speaking at one of the forums. You know, Gavin Newsom's there rooting against America with his Trump derangement syndrome. And Scott Bessent, cut 13, just wasn't having it. This is Mr. Bessent, Treasury Secretary of the United States.
I think it's very, very ironic that, Governor Newsom, who strikes me as Patrick Bateman meets Sparkle Beach Ken, may be the only Californian who knows less about economics than Kamala Harris. He's here this week with his billionaire sugar daddy, Alex Soros, and Davos is a perfect place for a man who, when everyone else was on lockdown, when he was having people arrested for going to church, he was having $1,000 a night meals at the French Laundry, and I'm sure the California people won't forget that. And I can tell my message to Governor Newsom is the Trump administration is coming to California. We are going to crack down on waste, fraud, and abuse. And I was told he was asked to give a speech on his signature policies, but he's not speaking. Because what have his economic policies brought? Outward migration from California, a gigantic budget deficit, the largest homeless population in America, and the poor folks in the Palisades who had their homes burned down. He is here hobnobbing with the global elite while his California citizens are still homeless. Shame on him. He is too smug, too self-absorbed, and too economically illiterate to know anything.
Thank you very much.
Let me know if you need any further clarification.
Whoa, that was pretty darn hot, was it not? Now, quickly, in this Minnesota story, Greta had Ice Barbie on, Kristi Noem, Ice Barbie. And which I've been saying, like, what is taking so long for these arrests to happen? Why isn't that the beard guy with the F Trump hat? Why is he still walking around free? Why hasn't he been? Why is Don Lemon not in cuffs already? If they believe that he was part of the riot and not, as he claimed, exercising his First Amendment privileges as a journalist. Why is Lemon not in cuffs? Anyway, Greta asked Ice Barbie about it, caught 15, and here it is.
And that pastor really did a remarkable thing there, trying to protect his parishioners.
And even the parishioners, I imagine, have felt and feel intimidated. And
they did, and there's going to be arrests in the next several hours, Greta. There will be arrests tied to that, and people will be brought to justice for how they violated the law in that situation.
Well, Don Lemon is a journalist, and so I thought he was going, and so when I first saw it, I assumed he was going in as a journalist covering it. I mean, I go into bad places and ask questions all the time. But when his comment about the white supremacy all of a sudden made me think, well, maybe he wasn't there as a journalist.
Yeah, well, Greta, not only that comment, but the fact that ahead of time, before this even happened, he said that he had conducted some surveillance before they went into this church. He identified individuals that were going in with him that were activists in the work that they'd done in the past. The fact that this entire situation was then posted on the Black Lives Matter website, all of that is something that they're going to be responsible for.
Well,
let's hope so, ladies and gentlemen.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
You know that big thing yesterday that they had, that big thing where they were supposed to go, liberals had it, where they were supposed to go to your congressman's office and across the nation and complain and all. It fizzled out. Not many people bothered to show up anywhere. But they're having another one. On Friday, they're having a general strike across America. The liberals, they're having a big general strike. Like they do in Europe when they paralyze everything. Okay? Now, In the Union, the Guardian is one of the papers covering it. They've got some amazing stuff there, some amazing quotes in there. Labor unions, community leaders, faith groups are calling for an economic blackout in Minnesota on Friday in protest of the surge of federal immigration agents in the states and to mourn Renee Good. Listen, this means on Friday, normal people in Minnesota can go to the restaurants, can go out and shop, and not have to worry that you're walking into some liberal dive with these crazed liberals. The crazed liberals are going to shut down. I'm going to have more on this tomorrow, because this is going to be a big deal, and I want to help. In 1941, on this day, Richie Havens was born. One of the great songwriters, guitarists of the time. This is him at Woodstock. Never got the kind of fame that he should have had. We got to go, folks. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you. Your family, your loved ones. Love and gratitude for your being here with me, allowing me to be with you. God willing, back tomorrow. Until then, I bid you adieu. Leave you with freedom. Bye.
Thanks for listening to The James Golden Show. You can hear The James Golden Show Saturday mornings at 7. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder,
what the heck is going on here?
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now. You call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time, 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.